I know.
Okay.
I'm
So,
good. I trust, you know what? I'm
and
always
so
nervous, but
now,
with you, I'm good. I am. I've always been like scared to death, but I'm not afraid. So,
and I don't blame you one little bit. So, hi, hello, everyone. And I would like to ask a question. And the question is, when you are faced with a most emotional, physical, and spiritual pain that is so chronic that it is blocking you from actually becoming all that you want to do and be, what can you do? Well, today I have a really, really special guest who's very brave because she's only just started working with me. And, I guess her journey is about pain that is not only emotional, it has been spiritual and physical. And she's come into my training program, and we really move like the speed of light. And we have been looking at recoding the mind. Now, who comes into our program? Well, we have people that want emotional, physical, and spiritual healing, which is this beautiful lady that I am going to introduce you to. Someone that had so much pain that it was not only in their emotions and their spirituality, but it was so much in their that it was in their body. And in one part of her body, which was her ankle, the pain was so chronic she wanted to have it amputated. And she actually had medicals who were contemplating this with her. Now, these people, this is, I mean, the journey where you go from the problem to the solution quite often turns out that people that have had the most adverse pain in their lives, when they actually do the right thing, when they acknowledge that they don't have to give up, they don't have to settle for it, and they can learn, they are the people that become the most successful. So this is this lady's journey. Now, on this journey, I obviously deal with a lot of healers and coaches and people who are very, very gifted because they're intuitive. Well, Michelle is at the beginning of her journey. And however, she wants to be where a lot of people that I am working with who are ready to launch into their program. She wants to be right there. So with no further ado, I'm just going to introduce you to Michelle. So hi, Michelle, and you're so brave.
hello, Terry. Thank you.
And tell us about whereabouts are you? What city and country do you live in?
I am in the state of Wyoming, which is called the Cowboy State in the United States.
Whoa, that sounds amazing. Okay. And so tell me something. Do you believe that in the time that since you've met me, we've now been working with each other, probably we've seen each other twice.
Yes.
Actually, today's our third time. So can you tell me, from where you were, where are you now?
In an amazing place. I can't even express how much my ankle has changed. A scale of 1 to 10, my ankle was at a 10, and now it's like a 2. Like
Oh my
I
God.
I could not even go up and down the stairs. I refused to go downstairs in the house because it hurts so bad. Um I literally have not been having problems getting up and down the stairs lately.
Well, you just
Ever
did. You just actually went up and down the stairs, and this is
I
actually a very
it,
classic example of how people, when they've got physical, when they've got spiritual and emotional problems, how it affects them physically. So I guess I mean, you say that you were going to have your ankle amputated.
Yeah, they just, the pain and with the scans and what it was showing and how I felt. I mean, I I couldn't even walk on normal ground, like the streets, the sidewalks. I haven't been going for walks for like 2 years because, and or working out, um, because I was so, my gait was off. I was always afraid of falling, and the pain was so excruciating. I literally just couldn't do it. And I'm still in shock. I just honestly, I have no idea. I'm just excited that I'm able to walk up and down the stairs and not feel like this is the most horrible thing. I just want to stay here in bed and let the world pass me by. So with that pain being minimal, it'll, it might not be at 0, but it's not a 10. I'll take a 1 or a 2 any
Wow.
day.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. So now, I mean, how do you feel in yourself? Like, obviously, I'm just going to explain to people. So, really, when you want to start something where you're either going to make a big change to your life, you perhaps want to become a person who's going to make a big impact on the world, I always say that your story becomes your glory. So there are people out there that, you know, they want to live their life purpose. And one of the things that I am totally so passionate about, Michelle, is helping people find their billion-dollar God-given gift. And so there are people that are, you know, they're already coaches and light workers, which, as you know, I deal with a lot of these kind of people, and they're stuck because they've got, you know, it doesn't matter how far we come along. I have issues, you have issues, the world has issues. But, you know, when you have the mindset that every single adversity is there to actually advance you. So, for example, we've had a lot of technical issues today, right?
Yes.
And did you even give up? Not once.
No. I literally reset everything in my house. I switched devices. I took a moment to calm down because I was like, this is going to happen. I need it. I want it. I've been searching and I know this is my time, my place. And I have been so low that I literally could care less, even though I knew it's not what I really wanted, but I did want to give up. I've literally have been suicidal at times. I would never do it, but that was my feeling.
Yep, and
But
that is something very prevalent out there in the world.
yes,
And I want to just pause you right there, because when
right.
people become so low in their life, it becomes like this ripple effect. So, you know, and as you know, Michelle, it begins to affect all elements of your life. So, you know, your
Yep.
mindset, it doesn't just affect you in one area, it affects relationships, it
Yes.
reflects on your body and your health and your spiritual and emotional. So sometimes I always say it's just a case, because I mean, in the technology that I have utilized, how long did it take from the time we started to the time we cleared to actually clear out a lot of that shiz?
Honestly, um, I would say 15 minutes or so the first time, and today about a half an hour. I'd say a total of about an hour to get me to now where I'm positive. I understand so much. I have hope, and I know what my dreams are. It's phenomenal. It's
That's amazing, because do
it
you
is.
know, It's when we first started talking, like when you start talking to someone, usually you say to them, look, what is it that you truly want in your life? And what will happen is they will come out with, well, I want to stop feeling stuck. I want to stop feeling overwhelmed, or I want to stop feeling, overweight, or this or that. They'll tell you everything they don't want. And so you have already been able to switch. And,
Yes.
I always say that, the things that happen in our life are a blessing. So sometimes when we have this big adversity, it is an opportunity to go, right, no deal. I'm not doing this anymore. Some people will get up, shake it, pretend that it didn't happen, and then wait till it happens again. But what you have effectively done is you have been able to, we've met by chance.
Yes.
And, this is where a prepared mind and when the planets align, this is obviously your time now, Michelle, to heal. So what would it mean for you to become now? I mean, obviously I'm dealing with a lot of coaches that are already trained and certified, and they, like myself, have been in a position where they're stuck. They feel overwhelmed. And all this is really an old program that needs to be deconstructed. So I say to every single person, it doesn't matter whether they're coming from A, like if you don't mind me saying, that's really where you are. So you were in A, we are taking you to Z, and it's like, there's the problem, there's the solution. And I really see that you have moved way over here. And there are people that are way over here, and they could stay there forever unless they unblock what is keeping them stuck. And that's why I create these programs, because when you deconstruct, and like today, we've gone back and we've unleashed a lot of stuff, haven't we?
Oh yeah. Today was my favorite. I love them all, but I really like today. And you know what, I knew I've gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I get depressed and I give up, and then okay, you've got this, you can do it. And but I knew I was at the point where my self-study, that's as far as I was going to go. And then more stuff happened. So I sunk down again. COVID, of course, didn't help, and there was big life changes happening before that. And so that the roller coaster ride, the merry-go-round, I wanted off.
Awesome.
So, yes.
And so do you feel like you've been able to jump off that merry-go-round yet?
Yes. Actually, I've jumped. Yes, I have. I know that I have a lot of work to do yet, but in the small amount of time that I've worked with you, I just want everybody to know that I'm very mind, body, soul person. I knew that they were connected, but I couldn't piece it all together. And with your help, I cannot express enough how 60 minutes has changed my life in a way that I know now I am going to be okay. And I knew that I couldn't help anybody else until I finished my journey and help. And if I have a setback, I know how to now reset. Everybody needs a reset, just like my router that was being silly today.
Exactly. And I mean, it reflected even in our, when we were getting together, the fact that the frequency was allowing us to connect. And I knew, what's the universe saying here? There's that hit and miss. So it's like, I asked you to face it. I asked you to sit with it, to be with it. You know, rather than running away from the things in your life that may be affecting you,
Yep.
it's so much better.
I went through everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I was determined to make it happen.
Yes. So,
I wanted it. Yeah.
exactly.
So
So,
I wanted it.
that's so good.
Yeah.
And you want it. And what I want to say is, I'm going to just stop sharing the screen. And
Okay.
my husband's just come in and said that we're just kind of sitting up there in a little box. But I guess it's really important for people to hear what you're going to say, because you're the hope to the world. You're the light to the world, Michelle, because it's people like you who have been suicidal, who have been in so much pain physically that you were nearly going to have part of your body amputated, and that pain's now gone from a 10 to a what? A 2?
Yes, literally.
Which is absolutely phenomenal. So now what I want you to do is I want you to know that, you know, the best is now in front. And you know that, like, we've taken what I call big exponential leaps to be able to actually, for me, helping people release their blocks, helping people to release their pain, helping people to release the overwhelm is the easiest part for me and the quickest. It's where people can achieve what they want with the, you know, the speed of light. The next part now is the reconstruction. So this is where, you know, like, we are between now and the next weekend or the next workshop we're doing, because I'm just going to tell people about what they are in for. And Michelle, this is what happened for you today. Would you like me to bring some conscious competency around that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it may seem phenomenal how fast we moved. You know, I am showing people how you can dissolve patterns through not just your own timeline, but your ancestral timeline. You're also the people that your relationships that are very close and soul tied to you. Because when you're caught up in this energy and you're stuck and you're blocked, what happens is it has an impact over your entire life and your relationships. So when you actually cut it, and we do this modality, and of course, obviously we don't do it in this forum, but you know where the forum we've just been. At the speed of light, you release it, you cleanse it, you purify it, and you're then in a position, it's like, this is the metaphor I use, Michelle. It's the metaphor of, imagine a beautiful block of land that is overlooking the most nirvana, tranquil ocean and beautiful paradise, right? And this beautiful block of land, on top of it has got this really old rickety house. And the house has had many generations living in it. It's had family after family, and it's been, the energy's been bad. The consequences have been there. There's been so much bad spiritual energy, emotional and physical problems. And then all of a sudden, a person in the house makes a decision to say, I'm not doing this anymore. No deal. That's what you've done, right? Yes. No deal. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. Exactly. So the next part of it is that we demolish. We use a technique, because this is what you will be doing to help your people. So that is then demolished. We dissolve it, we clear it, we release it, and then guess what? We build your empire.
So exciting.
So
it's so exciting. I wanted to become, you know, I've always had the goal for the last 3 years, coach, speaker, you know, I want to help people, but I knew I could not do that until I took down the generation house that's had all that stuff, clear it, and rebuild.
I love it.
So
And you just said that
I know.
beautifully.
Well, thank you.
So
For just starting.
I'm looking forward to bringing you back to our audience even after this, because you've shared a little bit today, and I believe that for our audience, you are the light to the people out there in the world that feel like they've had no hope, to people that have suffered with, really, it's, there is this amazing mindset and this subconscious that when you are open to knowing that every failure is a part of your exponential growth to go to the next level, you'll never do a bad day the way you did again, because you can learn to ask yourself the right questions. Just before we close down, Michelle, what are some of the questions that you've learned through this training that you can perhaps tell others? I know we haven't really done a lot of work on that. What have you learned so far? What's the biggest question you could ask?
What is it that you want and need? Ask yourself, what is it that you need so that you can become whatever it is you want to be, your higher self, your higher power? How just talk to yourself, your pain. I mean, I never thought of it that way. I mean, I've had addiction problems because they had me on so much medication, so my brain shut down and it wouldn't think, and so my relationships fell. We'll get into more of that later, but all I want people to know is that I knew it was in me. I just didn't know how to get there. And I don't want anybody to give up, because I lost hope and been up and down, and finally I feel in 60 minutes over a couple days, I know why I've been on this journey, how intense it has been, but it's for a reason, because there's so many people like me that want something different in their life, but they don't know how to get it. And I'm here to say that hold on and find it. You will find us, Lord. We will find you. And I promise that it's life-changing and it's amazing. And I'm so happy that I didn't give up. And it's not in me to give up. I'm very much a fighter.
I can tell that, and that's
maybe sometimes a little too hard, but just ask your pain. What do you need from me? What do you need me to change, in order to move forward so we can have what we want or need, your higher power, your higher self.
Amazing. That is beautiful. I mean, wow, that just goes to show that is, really once you come into that and you embody it, what you're saying is that acceptance of the pain that's there and asking it that question is so powerful. Michelle, I just want to thank you so much for sharing, because that's a huge thing to do. And, you don't know whose life you're going to impact for the greater. And, I'm looking forward to this journey. It's only just begun. So I can't wait to lay the foundation. Yes, the empire. And, here's one tip before I close down, and that is that what Michelle has said is absolutely right. Ask your pain what? Now, when you can ask your pain what it wants and what it needs, then ask yourself, well, what would you really love to happen? And I challenge you to state it and write it down in a very optimistic and toward motivated, positive way. So stating, the rich, juicy life, the health, your wealth, your career. State it in a succinct sentence. And then when you do that, allow the how. This is where we exponentially move you into quantum leaping into what you desire for your life. And then we incrementally allow and create the subconscious to open those doors to allow the how to take care of itself. So I want to thank you, Michelle. Thank you. And
Thank you.
we will see you again on the next live stream. Stay with me, and I'll close down now. See you later, everyone. And by the way, if you want to join us in our workshop, or you'd like to speak to me about how you can change the trajectory of your life, I will drop a link in the comments. It'll be a little bit later today. And I look forward to connecting with you soon. Bye for now.